What's up, guys? Heroes13 here, back. We got another video. So in this video, I want to talk about Sentry versus Superman. MCU Sentry versus Dceu Superman, right? Here we go. I see the comments already. MCU Sentry is featless. No, he's not. He's got quite a few feats. And yes, I am going to go a lot off on statements here, but it was statements by the people who made MCU Sentry. So the fact that he was, the people who made him and, know what they want, for his power level to be, you have to take that into consideration. You have to, like if this was statements coming from the actor, I'm like, But this is statements from the producers and the directors, like the people, Kevin Feige. These are people who decided, hey, this is how powerful Sentry is gonna be. Right, Sentry is definitely he's definitely responsible for spearheading the next he's going to be the next heavy hitter in this new era of the MCU, right? It was stated that he had, in promotional material in China, it was stated that Sentry had more power than Captain Marvel, Thor, and Vision. So fighting him would be basically like fighting those three. But Sentry also has vast psionic and telepathic and telekinetic abilities, and he seems to have some form of energy powers. As we saw him produce a shield which protected him from Red Guardian's knife, even though he didn't really need that. And we also saw him begin to melt vibranium, and we saw him melt John Walker's gun. He used his telekinesis to throw around the thunderbolts and lift, his telekinesis, lift objects, throw them around, yada, yada, yada. But his telepathic powers were something entirely. Sentry was able to put almost at least over half or the entire state of New York in this shadow, mind prison realm thing where they experienced all their traumas and their worst fears, right? Sentry was also so powerful. When he was first discovering his powers, he survived, a hail of gunfire barrage, flew into the air, and as he plummeted, he survived plummeting from incredibly high altitudes, and his crash produced a shockwave that knocked over heavily armored military style vehicles that weighed at least 5 tons. And I bring up this feat because we saw that when Sentry was getting shot, his body was moving. But Sentry would also come under gunfire later on, but his body wouldn't, move an inch. So this indicates that the Sentry, as he was training with Valentina, became more powerful and more used to his abilities and learned how to channel them compared to when he first awakened. So he was much, much weaker then. Sentry was also able to bend John Walker's shield. And John Walker's shield, I believe it's made of vibranium or some, powerful. I believe it's made of vibranium, but if not, it's definitely made of a super metal, a metal that far exceeds anything we have here on Earth. And we know there are materials that aren't exactly vibranium, but they basically have this super indestructible property to them. See Iron Man's Infinity War suit, so. I think it's vibranium, but if not, oh well. But being able to bend a super metal like that also shows just how powerful he truly is. But I want to talk to you. So with all that being said, Sentry versus Superman, who wins? Well, Sentry. I would say Sentry wins fairly easily. We know Sentry has the whole Superman type package. So we saw him using speed and all that. He was easily dodging bullets from point blank range. Winter Soldier was they were in melee combat. Bucky pulled out a gun, shot, Sentry got out of the way. To dodge a bullet from that close is very impressive. We don't know his top speed yet, obviously, but I give him that. Superman can't really do anything to Sentry due to Sentry's shield and Sentry's telekinetic powers. But even if we take that out, take that out, Superman has no real answer to Sentry's telepathy. I'm sure he has some form of mental, resistance, but we saw that his mind can be infiltrated once. So I mean, since you've been able to put almost the entire state of New York into like this, into this like this shadow realm mind prison, really lends to really aids the fact that it lends to the fact that Sentry could just mind destroy Superman. And Sentry, we also saw Sentry use his telekinetic powers to make a cup of water explode. And again, this is when he was just learning them. So it's also possible that Sentry might just be able to make Superman explode. I mean, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, Sentry is as powerful as Captain Marvel, Thor, and Vision all in once in terms of strength. So his strength far outclasses Clark's. And so will his durability, because strength and durability scale relative to one another. Superman really has no answer for Sentry at all. Like, Sentry survived a bomb being blown in his head. And I'm sure Sentry could, even if he got hurt from Clark's heat vision, which I don't think he would, he can just heal from it. I'm sure he's got healing, because we saw, when Void took over. So, yeah. But Sentry's just coming into his powers. He's only going to get more and more and more powerful. I can't wait to see how strong he really gets. But this is Heroes 3 to End. Thank you guys so much thank you so much for watching the video. And I'll see you all back with more. See ya. I also want to bring up one thing. Valentina. So Valentina was the reason. She was the architect behind Project Sentry. She wanted a hero who could replace the Avengers. That was her entire purpose. This is another way the movie is saying, hey, this guy is basically an Avengers, like a whole team of Avengers by himself. You also take into account that Valentina, so she created the serum, so she knows, like she knew like roughly what his powers and his abilities would be. Valentina stated that Sentry was all powerful, that Sentry could do basically anything, right? And we saw that with his controlling of his telekinetic powers and all and all that. So it's just you have to take the statements, because I mean that's pretty much what it's that's I mean, the statements are from the people who made him. Like, Valentina is basically the producers and the directors, Kevin Feige and them talking to you through Valentina, basically saying, hey, look, this is how powerful Sentry is. More powerful than all the Avengers rolled into one. And remember, Valentina purchased Sentry, purchased Avengers Tower, so she likely has some like inclination or some idea into how powerful certain Avengers are, if not all of the Avengers or the official Avengers members. So yeah, I mean, there's just nothing Superman can really do to him. Like, Sentry's got greater durability, greater strength. Speed remains to be seen, but he has the versatility over Superman. So yeah, this is Heroes 3 to End. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.